There are two huge mistakes that people are making when buying a new phone. First is relying on what everyone else around them uses to form their opinion, and second is paying nearly $1,500 for just that brand name. The new OnePlus 15 makes a surprisingly strong case for not just going with the flow. At just $900, it is far better value than the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And if you opt for the 512GB version, as you probably should, you're looking at spending $1,000 on the OnePlus and $1,400 on the iPhone. Not to mention that the OnePlus storage upgrade also comes with an insane 16GB of RAM, double that of the iPhone. And yes, OnePlus still gives you a charger in the box, Apple gives you a cable. Value-wise, OnePlus clearly wins, no contest. But here's the question, does the OnePlus 15 finally beat the iPhone 17 Pro Max? The OnePlus 15 looks as similar to an iPhone as it gets. Same rounded corners, roughly the same size, and you even have a true black color version which you don't get on the 17 Pro Max. If you cannot beat them, copy them, right? But maybe it's gone a bit too far. It almost looks generic now. Gone is the bold circular camera ring, gone is the alert slider. Instead, there is a new programmable plus key, the action button, whatever you call it, clearly inspired by Apple. And maybe next year we will also get a camera button too, who knows. But then the OnePlus also gives you a bit more with both IP68 and IP69 water resistance ratings. It can survive a drop in water up to 2 meters deep versus 1.5 meters on the iPhone, plus the IP69 rating means it's protected against high pressure water jets. Basically, it can survive an accidental rinse in a washing machine. Now the displays. The OnePlus 15 features a 6.8-inch flat AMOLED with a 165Hz refresh rate, the smoothest on any mainstream phone right now. The iPhone 17 Pro Max has a slightly bigger 6.9-inch OLED screen with Apple's ProMotion 120Hz panel. But here's the kicker. OnePlus hits 3500 nits of peak brightness, making it the brightest display we have ever tested. We measured this ourselves in our lab, so it's not just some made-up number. The iPhone hits around 2800 nits. However, Apple's anti-reflective coating is a big advantage, and the OnePlus does not have that. I think this gives the iPhone a slightly better outdoor visibility in real life. We also test minimum brightness, and here the iPhone actually gets the better and lower number, under 1 nit, while the OnePlus is at nearly 2 nits, a very noticeable difference at night. And software is another interesting comparison. Like many Chinese companies, OnePlus has copied Apple shamelessly in some areas. Take a look at the camera zoom ring, it's just a blatant copy. Weather app, copied. Control center, you guessed it. Multitasking menu, same. You won't see any of the Material You Android design and Oxygen OS 16. It's all iOS inspired, but without the fancy liquid glass features. As for software updates, the OnePlus loses. It gets 4 years of major updates, while Apple typically maintains iPhones for around 6 years, sometimes even more. Now, OnePlus this year has dropped the Hasselblad branding, and ironically, photos got better in my view. Detail is now no longer over-sharpened, photos look more natural, the exposure is better, and colors are a bit warmer. The main sensor now shoots 26 megapixel snaps by default, while the iPhone uses 24 megapixel, so OnePlus has kind of caught up in detail. In daylight, OnePlus photos look more vibrant, the iPhone skews slightly colder, but both look very good, and it boils down to personal preference. At night, I think the OnePlus wins it. There is no lens flare, you get more detail and more light into images while still maintaining realism. But when it comes to the editing and the experience, it's iPhone all the way. On the iPhone, you can turn the regular photos into portrait mode ones easily, you have the powerful photographic styles, and there are no loading bars when you edit. Video is another area where Apple is still ahead, but OnePlus has closed the gap a bit. The OnePlus 15 has pleasing colors, smoother lens transitions, and no longer pesky halo artifacts. Hello everyone, Vic here at PhoneArena, and today we have the OnePlus 15 and the iPhone 17 Pro Max on this beautiful fall morning. Check out these colors. Right now I'm using the main camera on both phones. Let me flip them over. Alright, so we have this view here, and if you can go to the ultra-wide camera, you can see an even wider perspective. The leaves on the grass, back to 1x. It now also supports 4K 120 for some beautiful slow motions, but again, the experience of editing videos on the OnePlus feels way more clunky. But what I was really curious to see here is the battery life numbers. Let me remind you, the OnePlus 15 breaks the 7K barrier. It's got a 7300 mAh battery, nearly 50% bigger than the 5100 mAh one on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And it did not disappoint. The OnePlus 15 is the first phone to score over 30 hours on our web browsing test, beating the iPhone by a good margin. And in the real world, well, both can last 2 days between charges, but the OnePlus does that a bit more confidently. Now, after using it, I can only wish Galaxy and Pixel phones got such a battery boost. Charging is another area where the OnePlus wins. It's still 80 watts in the US versus 40 watts now for the iPhone. Remember though that the OnePlus uses a proprietary SuperVOOC standard, so you need to use the charger in the box for the fastest speeds. A full top-up takes around 45 minutes on the OnePlus and more than an hour on the iPhone. The OnePlus 15 is also the first US flagship with the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip, and it's a mouthful and a beast. We measured nearly 99% stability in 3D Mark, outperforming the A19 Pro in the iPhone 17 Pro Max by a good margin. Sustained gaming performance is way better and heat management is impressive. Just take a look at these thermal images after 10 minutes of intense benchmarking. Now, both phones have stereo speakers, but the iPhone still edges out with slightly better dynamic range and a bit more depth. OnePlus sounds a bit louder, but flatter, especially at higher volumes. So, OnePlus 15 versus iPhone 17 Pro Max. Which one should you buy? Well, the iPhone wins it for polish, camera consistency, and long-term software support. The OnePlus wins for battery life, performance, and just sheer value. If you're tired of paying the Apple tax, the OnePlus 15 gives you 90% of the experience for 60 or 70% of the price. If you want the ecosystem, the video quality, and the most reliable updates, yes, the iPhone 17 Pro Max still holds the crown. But one thing's clear, OnePlus is closer than ever.